I launched my drone, and within minutes, police were walking straight towards me. Nobody had spoken to me. There was no warning and no obvious reason. So the question is, how did they know? This is something that's catching more and more people out. You think you're in a normal public place, you take off, launch your drone, and suddenly you're being approached like you've done something wrong. And it feels like you've been tracked. A lot of people jump straight to the conclusion that there must be some kind of system tracking drones in real time. We've heard about RID, is this what it is? On the surface, it sounds believable, because the technology does exist and the CAA now insists that you must have remote ID. Drones broadcast signals. Authorities have the equipment to monitor where the signals are. So is that what's happening? Or is something else going on? In most real world situations, what's actually happening is far simpler than that. If you don't understand it, you'll spend the rest of your life worrying that you're being tracked by Big Brother or secret government agencies or something like that, right? And it's you're not. You just don't realise how visible you are. And I don't mean how visible your signal is. I mean how visible you are when you're out there with your drone. So let me break it down for you. This is what it usually looks like, right? You arrive somewhere that feels completely normal. It might be a beach, a castle, site of a castle, a bit of open land, maybe somewhere quiet. You look around, there's no signs, there's no official bodies, there's no obvious restrictions, and you've done your homework. You can't find any restrictions in your planning. So you think, right, okay, I'll just do a quick flight. You launch, within seconds, your drone is loud, it's visible, it's drawing attention, even if you don't think it is. Because you're used to the sound, but other people might not be. This is the part most drone flyers underestimate. Other people will notice you immediately. Not drone pilots, just normal members of the public. And they don't see, oh, there's somebody getting a nice shot of this lovely bit of the coast, probably to promote Scotland and hope that tourists will come over after watching the video. They see something flying, a camera in the sky. It's something that they don't really understand. And in some cases, oftentimes the most cases, they assume the worst. So what do? They report it. And that report can happen fast. Everybody has a mobile phone on them. Everybody can automatically phone the police, right? Wherever they are. So think about this. You're flying somewhere. This time, it's in a busy, tourist-heavy, built-up, sensitive area. There's a good chance that staff are already on site, security is already watching the area, or other authorities are already nearby, so that when that call comes in, they don't need to track you. They just need to walk round the corner. And from your perspective, that feels instant. Because it is. Certain locations trigger faster reactions. Castles, landmarks, private estates, popular beaches, areas that have had previous complaints. These places are already on people's radar. So when a drone appears, you won't be the first person that's flown a drone there. You won't be the last either, probably. But that means that response times are going to be quicker. Right, let's deal with the big question. Are drones being tracked? In some environments, yes. We have our ID, and the CAA said that it needs to be on new drones with a certain class that have been bought or manufactured after a certain date, okay? But also in even drones that don't have RID transmitting, in high security areas like airports, around prisons, certain restricted zones, They have the equipment to detect drones, but in everyday public locations, that's not what's happening in most cases. There isn't a system watching every field, beach, or castle waiting for you to take off. What you're experiencing is something much simpler: visibility plus human reaction. That's all it is. The mistake people make is that they think if no one says anything, I'm fine. But by the time someone says something, you've already been seen, you've already been noticed, and sometimes you've already been reported. So when police or the authorities arrive, it feels like they knew instantly the moment I took off. But really, you were visible to people the entire time. It might even have been wee Bertha 500 metres down the road, peeking through her curtains that saw you. She might have had her binoculars up, or she might just have really good eyes. She saw you from 500 metres away. You weren't even aware there was somebody there. By the time you're getting your drone at your backpack, she's phoning the police. Okay, so by the time you launch your drone, the police are pulling up. And you're thinking, how did they know what happened? I must be being tracked. Like some people have said, have I a tracking device that's been put under my skin when I was born? No, you don't. But there can be a problem, right? Because even if you think you're flying safely and you believe you're within the rules, the situation has already escalated by someone else reporting it. Because now, when the police turn up, you're explaining yourself, you're being questioned, and now you're not flying anymore. The flight is basically over. And if you're a normal person and you're being questioned by the police, even if you're right and even if they say, wish you a good day and go away, you're still probably going to be a bit shaken up and probably not in a fit state to continue with the flight that you're doing. So even if you're doing everything right and you don't think you're being reported, you don't think you're being watched, or you don't think you're doing anything wrong, someone can still report you. So the next time you see a story where somebody says, police turned up out of nowhere, they must be tracking drones. I know a guy that talks like that. What the who said Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice? Take a step back, because right, most of the time, there's really no mystery system. There's no hidden tracking network. It's just people noticing, people reacting, and authorities responding faster than you expected. And if you don't understand that, it's going to keep catching you out.